Hello, welcome back to another edition of Tabletop Talk. Today I thought I'd take a few minutes to discuss keeping score. So the first thing to consider is whether to keep score or not. If you are doing a replay where you are doing everything with pen and paper, not using any computer aids at all, then obviously you kind of need to keep score in order to keep track of your stats and wins, losses, things like that. And then, of course, you also have to tabulate all your stats. And again, a lot of people like to do that. That's definitely old school. The first replay I did back in 1984 was like that because I didn't have any other options. And a lot of people still enjoy that. And so, obviously, keeping score in a situation like that is a must. So, I was been thinking about, what to say, and I guess the biggest negative to keeping score, if you don't have to, is the time consideration. And as you can see here with my score book, it's pretty involved. So there's quite a bit of preparation, getting everybody in the book, getting all the ratings in the book. When I'm doing the game, I keep pretty detailed track, as you can see. So that takes extra time during the game. Right now with payoff pitch, I can get through a game usually in about an hour and 15 minutes. I imagine if I didn't keep score, I probably could get that to well under an hour. So again, the biggest negative I can see is the time aspect of it. So what would be the positives? Well, the first would be to keep a record. I did quite a few years ago, I did a 1953 Milwaukee Brave replay with Diamond Mine Baseball, which is a computer game simulation, a very good one. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but a great simulation. And I didn't keep score because it was all in the computer for me. And then over the years, I got new computers, and the floppy disk, which tells you how long ago that was, that I had the backup on, got corrupted. And so now I have absolutely no record of that whatsoever. If I had kept score, then I could have still had the records of, my games at least. And I would have liked to have had that available because, again, now I can't go back and look at anything. Just got my memory, and that's about it. So that's one advantage to keeping score, is that you always will have a record, barring a flood or fire. Another good reason to do it, and this one is kind of a big one for me, is that it puts more of the game in my brain. As I'm keeping score, it slows it down just a little bit to where I'm not burning through it, and more of it sticks in my head. And so that it helps me to be more involved in the game. It makes the game more real for me, keeping score. When I do go to baseball games, which has been a while, I always keep score, so that could also be part of it. That makes it more like a real baseball game for me, is that I do that in real life as well. And so, again, that just makes it more tangible. It makes it more real, more alive, if you will. And so that's a reason that I keep score. So what are your options if you want to keep score? Well, I know I've seen quite a few of YouTube gamers will just get a spiral notebook, put in some vertical lines, and away they go. And that's obviously an inexpensive way to do it. And you've got your record there, and it's quick. And so that's an option. Baseball sim research, and I'll try to put these links in the description if you're interested. But baseballsimresearch.com is a wonderful resource. They have every season up through 2017, I believe, where they actually have as played lineups already in the score sheet. So all you got to do is print it off and you're ready to roll. You've got to put in your ratings for whatever game you might be playing. But again, and it's free. They do ask for donations to help offset the cost, but that's a free resource. And again, every game from 1901, I believe, all the way up to 2017, they have that. You print it off and away you go. Most game creators have a score sheet that's a game that's made for their game, and those are available for free. I know History Maker does that. I'm pretty sure Inside Pitch has a score sheet that you can download. I know Replay has a score sheet that you can download, and they're free. And a lot of people like one game's score sheet so much that they use it for every game they play. And so that's an option. I know Payoff Pitch, they have 4 or 5 seasons where they actually have the as played lineups with their ratings already printed in the score sheet. And so I know they have that for 1980, 1948, and they have a couple other seasons. So that's really handy if you are replaying with Payoff Pitch. All you got to do is download their score sheet for that day, and if you're doing as played lineups, and they are printed, got the ratings already on there, and you're ready to roll. And so you'll find that on the Payoff Pitch website, and that's a great resource. So the one I use, you can also use just score sheets made for baseball. Go to your local sporting goods store, pick up a score book, and there you go. And so the one that I use is kind of in that vein. The one you see before you here is Bob Carpenter's Scorebook. As you can see there's the website, bsscorebook.com. He is the announcer for the Washington Nationals, and this is the scorebook that he uses when he is doing the games. And I have found that I've bought a couple of these and end up buying a few more because I use this to score pretty much everything. If I do a one-off of an as-played lineup, I'll download that from Baseball Sim Research. But the great majority of the time, I use this. And I have found that it works with whatever game I am playing. I've used it for History Maker, Stratomatic. I've used it for Diamond Mine, Action PC, which isn't cards and dice, but it works great for that. And so, I find it works great for everything. This particular one, he has a radio version and a TV version. The radio version has 200 score sheets in it for 200 games. The TV version has 100, and they're identical as far as I know, except for how many's in there. And I think it's like $48 for 200. And so that's actually not bad at all, in my mind, for 200 games. And so that's the option that I use. I like this because it's all in one notebook, so I can do a whole season replay and have it all in one place. It's already bound together. I don't have to buy binders or plastic sheets, and everything is right here in one book, and I can open it up. It lays flat. You can do it like that, as you've seen me do in my videos. And so, it's, I love it. Again, I use them just about for everything when I'm doing my replays, whether it's cards and dice or on the computer. So I thought I'd take a few minutes to describe how I keep score. Again, I know, like the different ways to replay, everybody's got their own system. And I enjoy seeing other people's systems. I know I, again, watch baseball demos quite a bit and watch him keep score in his videos, and I've picked up a few things from that. And so I thought I'd take just a few minutes to share how I keep score. So as you can see here in the upper left, when I'm doing a replay, I will, before the game starts, I'll write what my record is against that team. So this was a game I did yesterday in my 64 replay. I didn't broadcast this, quote unquote. So this was a game in New York against the Yankees with my 64 Baltimore Orioles. Going into the game, we were 1-2 versus the Yankees, and we hadn't played them away yet. Up here, you can see we got their score, and it's early in the season, so I don't do this yet because it's not really matter. It's so early. But typically, I do what place they're in, games behind. This is their home record, their road record, and then this is like against the East, Central, West, and interleague play. Obviously, in a 1964, most of those aren't going to apply. So what I will put in here is their last 10 and their winning streak, how many games they've won or lost in a row. So at the end of the game, you got a place here for like a little recap of the the runs, hits, errors, left on base, your win-loss pitchers. Here I put the game date that the game was played in real life, whether it was a day or night game, the attendance. You can find that on, let's see, what is that website? I believe it is the Baseball Reference. You can find that there, and they'll tell you. Sometimes you even get the weather. I did keep track of how long my games are, but I find that's just ruining my enjoyment. So I just play, and if I want to pause the game and go get a cup of coffee or use the bathroom, or sometimes I'll get a little frustrated and I'll just stop and go watch a little TV. And so I find that I don't like doing that. It doesn't matter to me how long the game takes as long as I enjoy it. So here I put the away team, and here I put their real life record. I like to know just remember this is a good team. So you see the Orioles came in third that year. The Yankees were first. Here I put how they bat, the name, and this is for payoff pitch. Again, every game is different. Their run rating and their steal rating. When I'm doing like replay baseball and I'm using Replay's computer, all this stuff is on the computer screen, the defense and their run ratings. So I don't need them, so I don't put them in the book. But right now, this is payoff pitch, and I'm using Replay's computer to input them, so obviously their ratings are different. And so I need to put them here so that when I'm doing the game, I don't have to dig through the cards. And having said that, that's the same thing here in the defensive section. So I got their rating, so and it works out because whoever's batting, then this is the defense. And so I don't have to go back and forth in between the pages. And if it's an error rating on the third baseman, it's right there, and that makes the game go a little quicker for me. Here I put the pitcher's hit number in red. I do that because on payoff pitch they have they've got two columns, and so I have to remember whether it's a 1 or a 2, and so that just helps me to find that really fast. So I'm not looking at the wrong column, which I have done before. Here, I know baseball demos use this for what it is. It's actually where you have the available bench players and your available bullpen. When I'm doing a replay baseball has all that on the computer screen, so all I have to do is click on the pitcher, for example, and it'll bring up all the available bullpen. And so for me, in the situation I'm in right now, that's kind of redundant. So I basically just use this to keep track of how many home runs, like Brooks Robinson hit a home run in this game. That was his first. And so you can see I do that. So I do the same thing here for the home team to keep track of the season totals. And again, when I go back and look at this, it kind of gives me a snapshot of, hey, that was his 10th home run of the year, that kind of thing. So one thing I do here in the score section is I use color codes. I use black for everything except for if it's a hit, single, double, triple, home run, whatever, I do that in red. If he gets on base some other way through a walk or through an error, I do, like you see here, that the E2, I do that in green. And then I keep track, or a hit by pitch, for example. Joe Pepitone got hit by a pitch, and that's in green. And so that's really handy, because when I go back and do like how many hits they did that inning, it's just real easy to see. It is a little more time consuming. I use these pens. They're 4-color: red, blue, black, and green. I get these at my local Dollar Tree for $1 a piece. They do run out of ink relatively quick, but for $1 a piece, and I've got a whole stash of them. So again, that's the pen I use. So it is a little time consuming sometimes to switch, and then I'll forget what color I got. So I'm actually getting pretty good at it, where I will almost subconsciously go to the black to get started to the next at bat. So again, $1 a piece at Dollar Tree. I don't know if you have Dollar Trees where you live, but if you do, that might be something you might consider. But again, it's just I can look at the score sheet really quick and see, the hits and the walks and the other things. So again, if you've watched any of my videos, you've watched me keep score. So I do RBIs. I used to do RBIs, like say RBI, but that took more space. So I don't remember who I saw do this, but they just do a red horizontal line. And so that was a 2-run home run you can see there. Mickey Mantle had a 3-run home run in the first. And so that's how I put down the RBIs. Obviously, I do the bases all the way around. So he got as far as second base, and that was it, as you can see. And then the rest of it's pretty basic stuff. I know in my gameplay I have figured out on payoff pitch how to do swinging and looking. So if it's a strikeout looking, I just do a K. If it's a strikeout swinging, I put an underline under it. If I have an infield single, I'll put a red line under the 1B to let me know that was an infield single. If I have a ground rule double, I will put a red line underneath of the 2B to let me know that was a ground rule double. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I like at the end of the game, I can do a recap, so I can look at it real quick and say, hey, Brooks Robinson went 3 for 5, 2 RBIs. Mickey Mantle, he had a great day. So I kind of, again, just look at it in a snapshot. One thing I've just started doing, I used to put the pitchers with the batters. Like, for example, I would put the Oriole pitcher here, and then, the Yankee pitcher with here, and I've switched that up. I think I like it. I haven't done it enough to say for sure, but again, that makes everything, this is the defense, this is the pitcher, so whoever's at bat, everything is this page. And then when I go to this bat, it's the same thing. When I switch pitchers, I don't have to flip the book over. I just write down Harvey Haddix, and I stay on the same page. So I'm finding that I like that. I do write and color-coded here that this is Baltimore pitchers. It kind of matches this, and in my brain, it kind of organizes it. Same thing here, New York black, and up here. So again, there's different forever. I did it to where they were, that the Yankee pitcher was here. But I'm liking this. I think that's working out really good for me. And then here I put what their record is going into the game, so I can kind of, again, make it more realistic. Payoff pitch, or a replay rather, names MVP. And then here I will put notes of different, what things happened. The M&M boys both hit home runs this game. And so I find that when I win, I tend to put more notes, because when I lose, I just want to get to the next game. Here I put the result of the game we lost. Up here, this is kind of important for me. I put the game engine that I'm using. I got a lot of different games, and so I like to know when I go back at what I was using. So here I'm using Payoff Pitch Cards and Dice with the Replay PC 1964 season. And so I put that there just to, when I go back, I can see what I used to play the game. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner, I put the actual date that I played the game. So this was yesterday, the 2nd, 2021. And so I put that there. And sometimes I will put the other league results here. When I do just one team, one league, like in my 54 replay, I'm much more likely to do that. And I guess even though I'm doing the Orioles, I could do the American League here when I'm doing the Reds, but for some reason I'm just getting away from that. I'm not sure it's worth the time. And when you're doing all of this stuff in gaming, you try things and decide if it's worth the time or not. And if it's not, then you eliminate it. Like we talked about in the last video, try out things, and if it works for you, do it. And if not, then don't. So, again, I thought I'd take a few minutes to show how I keep score. And if you are interested in more of the details, obviously you can watch some of my gameplay. So, for me, keeping score is a big deal. I've tried both, and I've decided that it's worth the time for me. I like it. Again, it helps me to be more involved in the game. It gives me a record, and I can go back and look over the games if I want to. Again, I really like these scorebooks because they're just well made. It's got all the space I need to do what I want to do. And even though certain things are made to do certain things, like when I'm later in the season, I also, if I start a series, I don't do it every game, but I will put the standings here so I can see. I got that from Baseball Demos as well. I think he normally puts his over here, but I like that so I can see, and then I'll put a little red arrow pointing to the teams that are playing in this game. And then up here, obviously you got the stadium. I got the day that they are playing, and then here, if it's a real played game, I put the real life result and then what the record was. So in real life, the Orioles lost this game 1-4, and that made them 5-3. So you can see we're underperforming in our replay a little bit. This is the game number of the year, so this is the 8th game for the Orioles, and so those are some things that I do as well to get ready. And so again, as you can see, this probably takes me 10-15 minutes to get things prepped, and again, it's worth it for me. I like to slow down and enjoy the season a little bit, and I also enjoy stats accumulating, so don't want to take too long. But for me, I'm finding that I like this, and this scratches that replay itch for me. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. As usual, I would really encourage anybody who has any comments about keeping score, good, bad, or indifferent, add those to the comments. I appreciate them very much. And I know I enjoy reading the comments and having some discussion about the topic that we're talking about. I know when I'm looking at other guys' YouTube channels, I enjoy reading through the comments, because quite often if I have a question, I'll find that somebody else did too, and so it just gives you more information about the video. And so I encourage everybody to do that. I really thank everybody who has done so far, and we'll keep the conversation going. I appreciate it. See you next time.